Hey, Josh Hicks here, and listen, I'm going to be talking to you today about some steps that we take these are a few little pieces and steps that we actually do and work in our course, in our training courses, when becoming the best recruiter, transportation recruiter, truck driver recruiter out there. So these are a few key things that we're just going to really touch on. I'm just going to give some free information here. I hope this really helps you, especially if you are a recruiter that is struggling right now. You feel the pain. You just can't figure out how you can efficiently get a driver in the seat. Maybe you're just getting into this with us. And you're already going through the course and the trainings and things, and you're going to hear some of the same things repeated a little bit here, but we're just going to really quickly touch on three different things here. So first off, let's talk about the follow-up process. One of the biggest things that a lot of people really mess up on is follow-up. And what I mean by that is, of course you think, yes, I've got to figure out how to follow up with anybody. It's sales. It's something that we actually do in sales. You've got to always follow up with a candidate that you're working with, either to buy something or to hire them for whatever that you're hiring them for. But the problem is most people don't actually do this correct because there's a little bit of a difference in the transportation industry, and I'm going to tell you why. Now, the difference than the rest, say for instance, you may be hiring for a job that is, let's just say it's an IT position. Most of the time, somebody that's going to follow up and they're interested in an IT position, well, there's not thousands of different opportunities out there. So usually they're going to follow through with the normal process, which is, okay, I like this job, I've done an application, somebody has an interest in me, and we're going to go ahead and follow through with this. So you can really kind of count on that individual in most cases. Now in transportation, truck drivers are the most needed thing in the U.S. today. The backbone of the U.S. right here, you have to move everything in your house. If you look around a room, it's always a trick question. You look around a room and find something that has not been moved by a truck, by a train, or by a plane, then I'll be very surprised. There's very few things. And just imagine not having something to actually move what you need on a daily to the location that you need it to be at. It would change life drastically, right? So that's why truck drivers are so important. But we're at a shortage, which is job security for a recruiter, if you know how to work with driver candidates. Now, we've created the beast of driver candidates having the flexibility to no-show, and they're really out here just stabbing in the dark trying to find the best thing that they can possibly find. There's hundreds of people calling them from different companies that need them. So they're very needed. It's a great thing as a truck driver, but as a recruiter, it can be very frustrating when you cannot get these candidates to show up and you feel like they're either lying to you or just being shady or whatever it is. The thing about it is these drivers, if they let any information out that you've given them, then a recruiter a lot of times will cut you down, or whatever you're offering, they will make it sound better, or what they're offering. And this is just kind of the game of recruiting, at least what we call the old game. Now, I'm going to be showing you, and in our course we show you how to stand out from them, not have to play that game, because automatically you're giving value. But the biggest value that you can get when you follow up, you have to do it in a different way, which we coach individuals, and this has changed the productivity of individuals that were actually decent recruiters. Just by this one thing has changed, double, tripled, quadrupled their numbers, and that is following up with an individual on a daily, every 24 hours. Giving them tests. We're going to give them tests, making them work for you, but doing it in a way where they don't feel like they're actually working. Now, to get into some of that strategy, we'll have to go in deeper to it, but let's set up tests. What that means is when you actually do an application, you have somebody filling out an application, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to test them to call you back after the application specialist or whoever have filling that application out. Maybe it's the driver that's actually filling it out for you, that they actually call you back directly after. You set an appointment to get that thing done, and you don't just leave it in the wind to do it whenever. So you set that appointment, you get it set, and you test them to first call you back directly after, and that's their first initial test. We're going to talk a little bit about that. Then every 24 hours or daily, let's see if I can spell right here, what you're going to do is when you actually go through this process with the driver, when they're sold with you, right, to do the application, what's going to happen in that, if you've done that the right way, you're going to know some things that are personal things about that driver candidate, things that he's shared, things that you've actually started a relationship with him that you're going to actually be able to really reiterate why he was so passionate about going with you. And that just really comes down to your question-based sales initially when you're really working with this candidate. Now, every 24 hours, guess what you're going to do? You're going to be talking about what has motivated this individual to go with you in the first place. You have to remind them. When you've got hundreds and hundreds of phone calls, what you want to make sure is that you have something always stirring in that driver's mind, that driver candidate's mind, about why they connected with you and why you got them so interested. So every 24 hours. Now, I'm just breezing through this a little bit because I don't want to spend a lot of time. We get a lot more depth, obviously, in our training and a lot of things we do. But those are key things right there, just a few of these things right here. Now, being a recruiter or an agent, I want to talk about the difference in that. I've talked about a recruiter a lot here. We actually advertise a lot of our courses and things as recruiting, truck driver recruiting, because that's the thing known out here in the industry. Now, the difference in a recruiter is a lot of times what I would say is you're kind of putting yourself into a pool of individuals that are what they call headhunters or recruiters that are trying to put them into a position and get them into that position, and they get paid, and that's the last the driver hears of it. Now, what we do here is we teach individuals what the difference is when becoming an agent, because like we say, an agent is going to stick with the individual through the thick and thin. Now, we have to make sure that when we actually do this, that we have individuals that are actually doing this. So if you're going to be an agent, then be an agent, and that will obviously put you into a different kind of game. It's a game changer, really, when you get that concept and you actually do the job. It's giving individuals value, kind of like this information right here, without really wanting anything from it. Now, if they feel all you're trying to do is get money from them or whatever it is, it's not going to get them interested in what you're doing. So make sure that you are representing yourself as an agent and giving them some value in what is being done. If you're Facebook, if you see me looking up here, we've got video cameras every which way, so just letting you know. Let's move to the third step here. Okay. What we want to make sure that you do when you're actually working with driver candidates, there's a few words, I always call them cuss words in our industry, because you might turn the person off right away in the initial beginning to get them before you ever warm up. And one of the biggest things, and OTR. So if you've been in recruiting, you're going to know that. If you're getting into it now, then you're going to learn this very quickly. But OTR, it's over the road, okay? Over the road. It's the old traditional way of truck driving, right? It's one of the most negative words out here because it used to be the only thing out here, and nobody really, in most cases today, have the desire to stay out for months at a time, even weeks at a time in most cases. So they're always looking for the better job with home time and money. Now, some individuals want to make the most money, so they're going to go out and sacrifice the home time to make the money. But the first thing that you don't want to lead off with this right here, because that really is what majority of companies have out here, and they're hearing it time and time and time again. They need to feel and see the light at the end of the tunnel. Now, if you're a company and you're not working with our clients or different opportunities but the OTR, then you really have nothing that you can really do at that point. Now you can ease into OTR and explain to them maybe if that OTR, maybe it is out a couple of weeks, but it's only in a region. Maybe you can talk about the positives of that region. Maybe there's flexibility with your company that you're working with that is a little bit different than traditional OTR. So you always find the positive things before you really go into OTR, over the road, that's it, or the highway, that kind of thing. So you really want to warm up to that. And just remember that they're hearing it thousands and thousands of times. That's one word that I want to make sure that you never use. Another one is, believe it or not, a lot of people use consultant. And it's the worst thing. I don't know if it's because people think they feel important when they say they're a consultant or whatever it is, but it's one of the most, I believe, misused words out here in consultant. It's like they are the master of, and sometimes that just comes off as a real, you position yourself in where it's kind of a negative feel towards that driver candidate. The last thing they want to hear or they really care about is somebody that's a consultant. They don't want to do it. And the first thing they're going to think of is, how much are you charging? And what is your game? So that's the last thing you want to put out there. That's why we really we steer away from recruiting, because we are different than recruiting. And this is what we teach, is how to be an actual agent. There's a lot to it. There's a lot to being an agent. But that's something we can definitely help with if you're ever interested in learning more about it and really kind of getting into it. But that's three major things right here that I wanted to share with you. I think that if you apply these three things, I've seen it up to quadruple people's their efficiency when hiring driver candidates by just putting just a few steps. These are just a few tiny steps of what we actually teach in our business of being top recruiters in the nation. That's what we kind of do. So really want to kind of give you that. I hope that this helps somebody out there that may be struggling. Maybe this will help you add a couple of drivers, maybe a couple more hires than normal for the holidays coming around the corner. Hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving weekend. And listen, if this kind of information right here is helpful, I would love to connect with you. Like the video, like the page, and connect with us on Messenger. We're going to have a lot of cool things happening here right now. In fact, I think right now we have some things going on for Cyber Monday, which is probably midnight cutting off here very soon. So check that out. If you're interested in things like this, though, we're putting all kinds of information out. We're giving away a lot of different things in the coming weeks. So we're very excited about that coming up to the new year. Would love to connect with you. Like the video, like the page, connect with us, and please comment down here below what was the best thing that you took away from this video. And when you do that, we're going to actually select somebody to do a free coaching call with me personally, and I'd love to connect with you on a personal basis. So until then, I hope this helped, and we'll see you over into the next video. Talk to you guys later.
Hey, thanks for sticking around. And by the way, you like videos like that, check this out right next to us right here. It's going to be exactly what you need. If you're new, subscribe down below. You'll get updated on all new information coming. And if you comment below, I'm going to be pulling somebody on a monthly to give free coaching away. Looking forward to it. See you on the other side.